So that's where the fat goes. Look at my legs, bitch. Ain't no circulation in those. I got them black toes. Listen, Faith, don't act like you wasn't sucking them shits like it was Leo DiCaprio. But I bet you think my kid's some kind of lasso that you can just throw.
Well, good evening there. We had some audio issues, but got them sorted out. Something a little different tonight. A lot of people.
Like you protect Hunter Biden, and Faith says, "Where's my child support?"
I'll get rid of MC Turbo. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, go away. Not time for that yet." Tech issues, and I'm already starting. But a lot of people go on like Kiwi Farms is the worst. Literal right-wing death squads. But I'd like to present a few things that chiefly video games have way higher body counts than the farms. Even counting that one fuck you guy who failed at a school shooting there. We're gonna look at some of the fucked up things people have done to themselves and other people over, of all things, fucking video games. So, just let me get this up here. The first thing we're gonna take a look at some of these have videos, some of them don't. A lot of them don't for obvious reasons there. But the first one, this guy actually died playing World of Warcraft in an internet cafe. Better get the DMCA filter up. I'll do it again because that filter was a little heavy there. Yeah, he just like slumps right over. He's coughing. And the next one, this one actually got a fair amount of coverage there. But over in South Korea, Korean husband and wife are facing criminal charges after their baby daughter died when they left her home alone in order to play World of Warcraft. Go figure, they probably went to an internet cafe. They're pretty big in Asia. According to the news site Chosun, police say the parents left their 4-month-old child alone in a bedroom while they went to play the MMORPG at a local internet cafe. When they returned 5 hours later, the baby was lying on her stomach and had died of suffocation. We were thinking of playing for just an hour or two and returning home like usual, but the game took longer than that, the couple is reported saying. That's just kind of fucked. They're gonna leave like an infant home alone. I don't know about you guys, chat. Following a police investigation, the husband and wife will be required to defend their actions in court. It's unfortunate because the tragedy could have been averted if the couple had just left their daughter with Yu's mother-in-law who lived upstairs from them, said police. We booked the pair on criminal charges, judging that when you consider the situation, they were responsible for the daughter's death. And they actually did get criminal charges out of that. Next one here. is from America. OC couple obsessed with World of Warcraft sentenced to prison for extreme child neglect. Yeah, these guys were fucked. They pretty much locked their kids in a trailer. I think this is the one. Yeah, like a trailer, like one of the mobile homes. Not gonna read this, but we can scroll through it there. Yeah, they just pretty much like left them locked up in there. Didn't let them go to school, didn't let them really do much of anything, and just played World of Warcraft. And here's another one that didn't end so well there. Having kids may not be easy, but playing video games for over 12 hours a day is not a great solution. La Cruces, New Mexico resident Rebecca Colin Christie is facing a serious ruling after she was accused of the second-degree murder of her 3-year-old daughter. And the further we dig into the story, the uglier and more reprehensible it gets. According to the FBI, who confiscated Christie's computer for the case, it was discovered that Christie played World of Warcraft from approximately noon to 3 a.m. every day with little interruption. During that time, she bemoaned her parental responsibilities, saying she wanted out of this house fast. Meanwhile, her daughter becomes so malnourished and starved that she allegedly resorted to eating cat food. Hello, everybody there in chat. But why were the FBI involved? Turns out Christie's computer was bought for her by her husband, Derek Wolf, who is enlisted with the U.S. Air Force. And because Christie's daughter died on an Air Force base, federal employees were obligated to investigate with the intent to prosecute. As a result, the FBI seized Christie's computer, which is how they were able to discover just how much she played WoW. How she spoke about wanting to get away from her own daughter, and worst of all, she was back online only an hour after her child's death. It's pretty fucked. Yeah, I haven't really been paying much attention to the E3 stuff there. There hasn't been really any games that I've been too stoked about announced. Alright, back to the article here. With all that out of the way, let's get to the worst part. Rather than be introspective, rather than feel guilt and shame over the death of her daughter, Christie fought the case not on the grounds of her innocence, but because she felt her Fourth Amendment rights were being infringed upon. Okay, yeah. Like, I'm not guilty, but you guys were invading my privacy, figuring out how my daughter died. Gahul was doing some good E3 stuff. I caught a couple minutes of it here and there, but was stuck bootstrapping. Here's an excerpt. Miss Christie contends this evidence and more from her computer was uncovered in violation of her Fourth Amendment rights, and the district court should have suppressed it from her trial. Because the court didn't, because it admitted the proof against her, Miss Christie says a new trial is required. That's right. Never mind her daughter's death. The real crime is the government inspected private details from her computer without her consent. Too bad multiple warrants for search. The judge on the case wasn't having. So it was So it is, we decline to reverse the district court on this score, just as we find no other reversible error anywhere else in the careful treatment of this case, the judges affirmed. And with that, Rebecca Cullen Christie was sentenced to 25 years in prison. So that was one of the sadder ones. But at least she's doing some time there. We got another one about a woman in Idaho losing custody of her kids because wow. So much for a GTA 6 reveal. They didn't talk about any GTA 6 at E3. Did Rockstar even have a thing, or did they bother with it? We got this one here. Not a lot of these have pictures, but a lot of them are older. That one was just a short little one. And another one, this isn't strictly a WoW, but these two parents severely neglected their kids over like Dungeons and Dragons shit and their fucking WoW habit. Reno, Nevada, a couple, authorities say, were so obsessed with the internet and video games they left their baby starving and suffering other health problems, have pleaded guilty to child neglect. The children of Michael and Lana Straw, a boy aged 22 months and a girl aged 11 months, were severely malnourished and near death last month when doctors saw them after social workers took them to a hospital, authorities said. Both children are doing well and gaining weight in foster care, prosecutor Kelly Ann Villoria told Reno Gazette-Journal. Michael Straw, 25, and Lana Straw, 23, pleaded guilty Friday to 2 counts each of child neglect. Each face a maximum sentence of 12 years in prison. Viola said Reno couple were too distracted by online video games, mainly the fantasy role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons series, to give their children proper care. I bet they watched Critical Role on like repeat. They had food, they just chose not to give it to their kids because they were too busy playing video games. Villarreal told Reno Gazette-Journal, "Yeah, kids can't make dinner. I'm in queue." Police said hospital staff had to shave the head of the girl because her hair was so matted with cat urine. The 10-pound girl also had a mouth infection, dry skin, and severe dehydration. She gonna grow up to be a little Brittany Venti? Maybe that's all Venti needs to do and she won't be so smelly, is just shave her head. Her brother had to be treated for starvation and a genital infection. That's rough. Poor kid. His lack of muscle development caused him difficulty in walking, investigators said. The Straws have been giving public defenders. The Associated Press has left a message Saturday with the public defender's office. Michael Straw is an unemployed cashier, and his wife worked for a temporary staffing agency doing housework, according to court records. He has received a $50,000 inheritance that he spent on computer equipment and a large plasma television, authorities said. Where child abuse because of drug addiction is common, abuse rooted in video game addiction is rare, Villarreal said. Last month, experts at an American Medical Association meeting backed away from a proposal to designate video game addiction as a mental disorder, saying it had to be studied further. Some said the issue is like alcoholism, while others said there is no concrete evidence it is a physiological disease. I think it's just like anything that can make you feel good. if you got shitty willpower and something makes you feel good and escape your problems in the immediate, you're gonna do it. There's some people, normal people, that are like, hey, it's fun to have fun, but I've gotta be a human. I gotta wage you. I gotta look after my kids. Patrick Killen, a spokesman for Nevada Child Abuse Prevention, said that video games addiction correlation to child abuse is a new spin on an old problem. As we become more technologically advanced, there's more distractions, Killen said. It's easy for someone to get addicted to something and neglect their children. Whether it's video games or meth, it's a serious issue, and we need to become much more aware of it. This is another one from abroad. Chinese teen burns classmate, blames World of Warcraft. I think this kid was just crazy. What do you think? After losing a schoolyard fight, the 17-year-old boy in Beijing recently covered a classmate with gasoline and lit him on fire, claiming he lost himself in World of Warcraft, and when he committed the crime, he had transformed into a fire mage. The boy had been sentenced in 8 years in prison and ordered to pay the victim and his family a restitution of 760,000 RMB, approximately 103,140 US dollars. In the light of the recent Mortal Kombat killings, we're hesitant to believe claims of any youth who says they have been influenced by video game into violence. In this case, though, we believe simply because China lacks our American legal system that allows people to claim games made me do it, subsequently shifts all blame to the game's creators. Yeah, 100%. He probably just pulled that out of his butt to try to, like, take blame off of it, or his lawyer told him to say it, thinking he'd get a different sentence. Do they have, like, lawyers in China? I'd fucking imagine. Seems like he was ordered to pay restitution, so this could have been like civil, not criminal. While this crime is both shocking and bizarre, we have to applaud the Chinese officials for offering a sane punishment as a response. Had this occurred here in the United States, the blame would have landed squarely on Blizzard and a multi-million-dollar lawsuit followed by a government inquiry into the evils of World of Warcraft, possibly helmed by Tipper Gore, wouldn't be at all surprising. All right. And this one, nobody got killed, but a University of Michigan like student gets raided over, of all things, a fucking fucking World of Warcraft gold scheme. FBI agents recently raided an apartment at University Towers in Ann Arbor as they investigate potentially fraudulent sales or purchases of virtual currency that people use to advance in the popular online role-playing game World of Warcraft, records show. No arrests have been made, FBI Special Agent Sandra Berchtold, a bureau spokesman in Detroit, said Wednesday. Berchtold said she could not comment further on the March 30th raid because many documents in the case remain sealed. The apartment is home to two men, a sophomore and a junior at the University of Michigan. The sophomore, who was there during the raid, told AnnArbor.com he thinks the FBI has the wrong people and he and his roommate don't play World of Warcraft, known as WoW. So this could all be a case of mistaken identity, or they're just trying to cover their butts. They thought we were involved in some kind of fraud, he said. I'm pretty sure they have the wrong people, but they took all my stuff. He said he's been consulting with student legal services to explore his options. His roommate could not be reached for comment. AnnArbor.com is not naming the men because they have not been charged with the crime. Agents investigating whether at least one person engaged in a scheme to set up fraudulent bank accounts to buy and sell virtual currency or gold to be used in the game. Federal court records show. WoW gamers say players take the game seriously and are willing to pay real cash for virtual currency in order to get ahead. When players complete tasks such as slaying monsters, they earn virtual currency they can use to buy better equipment for their characters. Some people, called gold farmers, work to accumulate as much virtual currency as fast as possible and then auction it off on the internet to other players in exchange for cash. Gold farming, common in countries such as China, is frowned upon by some in the gaming community as cheating. Records show agents executed a search warrant at the South Forest Avenue apartment near the University Central campus at 8:45 a.m. on March 30th. Investigators seized laptop computers, hard drives, video game systems, credit cards, a cell phone, paperwork, and other computer equipment, documents say. Shit, maybe the FBI was just like birthday shopping for one of their kids. They just totally pulled this like raid out of their ass because they didn't buy any fucking presents. Investigators were seeking records of any online transactions with WoW, the Chinese-based gold farming website, GameUSD.com, eBay, PayPal, and the United Service Automobile Association, which offers services including online banking. Last October, WoW, produced by Blizzard Entertainment, had a subscriber base of more than 12 million players worldwide, a company news release said. Alright, and this next one's a little more gruesome. It's about kids from BC getting busted because they talked about a murder in fucking World of Warcraft fucking chat there. Prosecutors in Canada hope to have 2 teens sentenced as adults after they admitted to planning the brutal rape and murder of 18-year-old Kimberly Proctor and bragged about it on World of Warcraft, a sometimes violent online role-playing game. Some experts believe the killer's involvement with World of Warcraft, which has 12 million subscribers worldwide, may have been a contributing factor in the crime and say the game provided key information to police, according to CTV. CTV reports that the teens planned the killing online, using the code words to initiate the attack, maps of where to dispose her body, and what kind of fuel to buy to burn her body. Those messages were collected by police and used by prosecutors. The teens, aged 16 and 18, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder Wednesday in a British Columbia court. Bonnie Leadbeater, a psychology professor at the University of Victoria, says some kids have trouble knowing what's acceptable in the game may not be in real life. You don't know which aggressive kid is going to take the fantasies of video games and try them out in reality. You just can't predict those very rare occurrences, she said. Here they are blaming video games. I think these kids were just like a couple of violent, degenerate fucking reprobates, but because it's Leafland, we'll never ever get a picture of what they look like or find out anything more about them. Unless they actually get charged as adults, but then they still might keep their identities hidden because, you know, our country sucks. Back to the article here. There would have been signs early. I don't know these two boys at all, but generally kids who go on and kill other kids or to act out in this sort of extreme manner are having problems early. Both teens were avid fans of the online game. After Proctor's murder, the boys told a friend on World of Warcraft what they had done. One of the teens admitted that the murder didn't feel like he thought it would. Now the teenager killers are undergoing psychiatric exams, and a judge will decide in March if they should be sentenced as adults. Officials say they lured the girl into a home, sexually assaulted her, and killed her, and took her body to a popular hiking trail where they set it on fire. Officials have yet to determine motive, but prosecutors say one of the killers had dreamed of killing someone since he was a boy. The teens have not been named due to the ages of when the murder occurred. And then we've got another one here. More Canadians. This one's from Shitaku. No, they're a fucking rag, but they actually get into a knife fight here. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that Shitaku article, but I think this one has a clip in it. Right. Ontario, Canada. Man is recovering today after being assaulted and stabbed in the chest by an acquaintance who was enraged over a game of World of Warcraft. Canadian news service QMI agency reports that Jordan Osborne went over to his neighbor's house Wednesday after hearing a loud argument. He said that his neighbor Justin Williams was fighting with a friend and several other World of Warcraft players over his headset when Osborne tried to intervene. I was telling him there's no need for you to be freaking out about World of Warcraft, it's just a game, Osborne told QMI. According to N4G, Williams responded, "It's not just a game, it's my life," and then allegedly assaulted Osborne, grabbing him by the throat, punching him in the face, and finally stabbing him in the sternum. So he read right out. He rose up. The gamer rose up. Osborne received treatment for his wound at Peterborough Regional Health Center and was later released. It's not too far from another rotund Canadian we all know. According to police, Williams was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. A massive multiplayer online game from Blizzard Entertainment, World of Warcraft has millions of active users, and although only a game, some players use it as a virtual business. World of Warcraft has generated controversy in the past since people have sold virtual goods acquired in the game for real money. One famous transaction involved the sale of an account for the equivalent of more than $9,900. And this isn't the first incident of assault tied to World of Warcraft. In February 2010, a 27-year-old man choked his mother and was shot by his grandfather after being asked to keep it down during a gaming session. I haven't seen this one, so we'll check it out. And his buddy's gnarly stitched up stab wound. And it's not even the real thing. Somebody else is a big WoW fan, Anders Breivik. Not sure if I'll read this one because it's got a lot of words that YouTube doesn't like, but All right. And the next one here doesn't specify the game, I don't think, of what was interrupted. But here's another one from Canada. Stepfather found guilty of murdering 3-year-old who interrupts his video game. A Calgary stepfather has been found guilty of second-degree murder in the death of the 3-year-old girl who interrupted his video game. Justin Bennett hit Ivy Wick in the head, threw her into a wall, and tripped her as she ran away on September 27, 2017. The child died 8 days later in hospital of head and brain injuries. Ivy was the daughter of Helen Wordsworth, who Bennett's common law partner at the time. On Friday, the Court of Queen's Bench, Justice Blair Nixon ruled the prosecution had proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Bennett had exclusive opportunity to kill Ivy. Much of the evidence against Bennett came from a Mr. Big operation, a type of police investigation where officers befriend a suspect, bringing him into their fake organization with the goals of eliciting a confession. So basically they set up like a fake little gang and get him to confess to his shit by thinking that they're all hardcore cool gangster guys like him. The goal is to convince the suspect that the police are closing in on an arrest, and that if he provides a detailed confession, the head of the group, Mr. Big, will be able to help him cover up the evidence and or flee the jurisdiction. Officers recruited Bennett, who was nearly homeless at the time, to join their fictitious quasi-criminal organization, giving him a job, friendship, and showing him a lifestyle he fell in love with. Bennett did provide a confession to the undercover Mr. Big. At the time of Ivy's death, Bennett had a video game addiction, and the day of her injuries, Ivy interrupted her stepfather's play. Bennett told the officers he checked to make sure Wordsworth was still in the shower before he smashed Ivy in the head. He then snapped and threw Ivy against a wall. As the 3-year-old ran into the bedroom, Bennett tripped her. The defense lawyer, Alan Fay, argued that his client had motive to provide a false confession, believing it would keep him in the group he'd come to love. When Bennett testified in his own defense, he said he lied during the confession because he didn't want to lose the attractive lifestyle of his new friends. A sentencing hearing will take place at a later date. I've actually got something with a clip here, so we'll pull this one up.
As a spunky, charismatic little girl, 3-year-old Ivy Wick's time cut short. But on Friday, after years of waiting, a final outcome.
We feel that this was the just verdict based on all of the evidence.
In September 2017, Ivy was rushed from her home to the Alberta Children's Hospital in critical, life-threatening condition. Days later, on October 5th, she was taken off life support. On Friday, the judge ruling Ivy's mom's boyfriend, Justin Bennett, guilty of second-degree murder in the little girl's death.
The reason she was crying more.
One key piece of evidence presented over the course of the trial, this video of Bennett's confession during a Mr. Big operation, where undercover police officers posed as members of a criminal organization.
I saw it on her face after I smacked her head off the wall.
From the Crown's perspective, that was very important evidence that we relied on heavily in our closing submissions.
Court also heard that Bennett originally told officers that Ivy died after tripping and hitting her head. However, an autopsy revealed she died of blunt force trauma. Doctors saying her injuries weren't consistent with those of a fall.
Really, the credit in this case goes to the doctors and the nurses at the Alberta Children's Hospital who made valiant attempts to save young Ivy's life at the time that she was killed. and to the members of the Calgary Police Service who did an absolutely outstanding job in investigating this crime.
This case highlighting resources available for families in our city, including the Children's Cottage, which provides short-term emergency care for children up to 8 years of age.
We are non-judgmental. We want you to know that reaching out for help is a huge sign of strength. It is not weakness.
Neither the defense or anyone from Ivy's family wished to speak with the media. Bennett's next court appearance is expected on April 16th. Tracy Nagai, Global News.
Excuse me. Just doing a little dead air donga there as I die after doing a dab. Now, that's all I can find about World of Warcraft. Let's move on to horrible shit people have done for Call of Duty. This is something relatively recent. Female Call of Duty pro reportedly murdered by another player. 18-year-old killer confessed to a crime after filming it and sharing the video via WhatsApp. Ingrid Oliveira Bueno de Silva, a 19-year-old Call of Duty player, also known as Soul, has reportedly been murdered by another professional gamer. Brazilian news network R7 reports 18-year-old Guilherme Alves Costa, also known as Flashlight, stabbed De Silva in the São Paulo district of Pirituba earlier this week. All these fucking Brazilian words are rough. Probably butchering these, but I don't even give a fuck. He allegedly filmed the crime and turned himself in at a police station half an hour later, confessing to everyone. A video of his arrest reportedly includes someone asking why he committed this crime, to which he answers, "Because I wanted to." He later professes to be sane and had been planning De Silva's murder for 2 weeks. The pair met each other online through playing games with both members of Call of Duty teams. De Silva belonging to FBI Esports and Costa to Gamers Elite. Police have not ruled out a romantic relationship between the two. In a statement to Screen Rant, FBI Esports spokesman said she was an extraordinary person whom we will remember every day the sun rises, every day the sunlight touches our body, and every time we look at the sun, we will remember her. Costa's team, Gamers Elite, released a statement via Instagram distancing itself from Costa and the incident. The group said Costa sent a video of the murder to its members via WhatsApp, as well as a PDF with messages of hate against Christians and mentions of terrorism. Oh, was he like a Islamist or something? We got like fucking Brazilian terrorists. I guess they've been fucking training on fucking CS 1.6 because it's all they fucking shit boxes can run. Women in Games Argentina released a statement to GamesIndustry.biz condemning acts of insidious violence against women that impact so hard in Latin America. The group is campaigning to raise awareness for the call of justice and to help prevent the story being presented as one about video game violence by non-games media. We don't want the media pointing out the victim as guilty of something to deserve it, nor the violence in video games to be used as a scapegoat, the statement continued. Let the guilt fall where it belongs, in a patriarchal system that enables and pardons violence against women. Our heartfelt condolences and support to her family and friends. So was she killed because of Call of Duty? Was she killed because Brazil's a shithole? I'd say it's at least 50-50. And this one here, I'm not going to go through and read all this, but pretty much what happened is these two Spurgs were having a Call of Duty spat, and in the process of that, one of them decides to swat the other one, but they get the wrong fucking address, and somebody who isn't even related to it gets fucking blown away, and they're fucking dead. I guess I can't get rid of that shitty bar at the bottom. This one here, alleged killer drove from East Bay to Texas over possible gaming feud, murder, suicide. Pleasanton. An online gaming dispute may have been behind a Pleasanton man driving 1,700 miles to Texas to kill an 18-year-old before driving back to his home, according to Bay Area law enforcement official. The 23-year-old man police believe is a gunman killed himself Wednesday night as SWAT officers were moving in to arrest him in Pleasanton. The Texas victim, Matthew Fain, 18, was fatally shot Tuesday morning around 6 a.m. in Flower Mound, according to police in Flower Mound, which is about 30 minutes north of Dallas. Flower Mound detectives said the suspect was wearing a helmet and jeans, and they did not believe the fatal shooting was a random act. They said in a release issued Tuesday, they had no reason to believe the suspect was still in the area. In an update Thursday night, Flower Mound police were able to link the Pleasanton man to the Texas murder after they found evidence on the suspect's cell phone. Police were led to the suspect early in the investigation, who was described as an acquaintance to Thane. Bay Area police official said the suspect killer set a propane tank on fire outside the victim's house to lure him outside, where he was shot. Police believe the two knew each other through gaming. A GoFundMe online fundraiser was set up for Thane's family, who, according to social media posts, was known as JPN or Japan in the online gaming community and played the popular Call of Duty game. He also had a Twitch channel where gamers can play live online, others can watch. Matthew never failed to put a smile on someone's face and brighten their day. He was such a unique character, one of a kind, reads the online fundraiser. By Thursday, nearly $12,000 was raised. One of the aspects police are looking into is if the killing was related to any online gaming dispute, Flower Mound Police Captain Shane Jennings said on Thursday. So that's kind of crazy. You'd figure after like driving 1,300 miles you wouldn't be so mad about a video game. You figure after like 5 or 10 minutes of driving you're not going to be mad, but this guy must have just been really fucking mad at the internet, or already fucking crazy to begin with. This one here, teen killed his mom because she took away Call of Duty. 13-year-old going by the name of Noah Crooks is on trial for the attempted rape and the actual murder of his now deceased 37-year-old mother. Yes, a child attempted to rape and actually did kill his own mother because he flipped out after she took away Call of Duty, a game rated M for mature and only appropriate for those 17 years of age and older. The reason why she took away the game, well, it was because he was getting bad grades in school and spending too much time on Call of Duty. The news comes shortly on the heels of Activision's announcements for Call of Duty Ghost due to the holiday season. This might be a website for Karens. Oh my god, and even the article is taking a shot at this one. Daily Mail. Don't forget to find antivirus. There's a detailed report on the incident that involves the kid from Osage, Iowa, laying waste to his own mother with a .22 caliber rifle. The crazy part about it was his rifle given to him on his 11th birthday as a gift from his mother. An internet full of facepalms wouldn't do this story any sort of justice as a reaction to this outcome. Now, I don't like this article. I just kind of gave these a skim. I didn't read these in detail. I didn't realize it'd be like so schlocky. Kids with unfettered internet access kill people, not guns. Now on to some foreign news to seem cultured. French terrorists played a violent video game, Call of Duty, before embarking on brutal killing spree of 7, says wife. A violent video game linked to second high-profile mass murder follows Norwegian mass killer's claims that he trained on the game. MP Keith Vaz has called for restrictions on the games industry. The veil-wearing former wife of terrorist Mohammed Mira says the couple played violent video games, including Call of Duty, together before he gunned down 7 people in cold blood. Hizia Miram, 18, has thrown a new light on the self-styled jihad or Islamic warrior during her interview with French police. Rather than a deeply religious extremist fighting enemies in the West, Mira comes across as a delinquent who was psychologically disturbed by his favorite hobby. It follows calls by British MPs for restrictions on violent video games after the Norwegian mass killer Anders Breivik claimed he trained on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Mira, 23, caused terror across the southwest France in March when he shot dead 3 soldiers and 4 civilians, including a rabbi, 3 children at a Jewish schoolhouse in Toulouse. He produced a video of the slaughter, which was later edited to Islamic martial music before being shot dead himself by police following a siege. But Miriam, who was married to Mira for 17 days before his death, said, "We had many religious conversations, but we spent our time playing PlayStation, including Call of Duty and Need for Speed." Call of Duty, a so-called shooter video game, depicts the battlefield in which heavily armed troops fight it out to the death. It has been often criticized for glorifying violence and for encouraging vulnerable young people towards antisocial behavior. But Miriam, who became Mira's bride as a young teenager, in front of an imam, said he was a kind and gentle husband, adding, "We also watched The Simpsons together. We talked a lot, and he needed someone to listen. He needed love, and I compared him to a baby." Miriam, the daughter of a security guard from Toulouse, married Mira on December 15, 2011, but their divorce was finalized 2 days before his death. Maybe it wasn't the video games, maybe he just snapped because he was getting divorced. She said they had decided to get married with the consent of both families, but their union had failed because they were both too young. Miriam now lives with her parents close to Toulouse Airport in Bolgnac and only goes out wearing an Islamic veil, despite the fact such garments have been banned in France. She's made comments in police interviews where she today leaked to the political week Le Point. Last month, the Labour backbencher Keith Vaz, chairman of the Home Affairs Select Committee, called for new powers to control the video games industry, especially huge sellers like Call of Duty. An early day motion sponsored by Mr. Vaz said the government should provide closer scrutiny of aggressive first-person shooter video games. Breivik, who admitted to killing 77 people, is currently on trial for mass murder, used Call of Duty Modern Warfare to develop target acquisition using holographic imaging. He said if you're familiar with the holographic sight, it's built up in such a way that you could have given it to your grandmother and she would have been a super marksman. And another one here. I'm not going to read this one, but the long and short of this is 14-year-old kid attacks his parents, shoots them both. They live, though, over Call of Duty. He was sentenced to like 15 and a half years there. And he's due for release in 2028. So it's 7 more years. Another one that they blamed COD on was the Sandy Hook shooting with Adam Lanza there. There's a lot of words that YouTube likes to automatically give you community guideline strikes if you say in here, so we're just gonna scroll through this and present it. I think it was more caused by, that one right there. I think the Weebery made him a deranged mass killer, not the violent video games, but that's just my opinion. And this one here, man to serve up to 65 years for torturing 3-year-old boy. The 22-year-old Ypsilanti Township man convicted of torture and child abuse will spend between 31 and 65 years in a prison, judge ruled this week. Harvey Wintz was convicted March 21st by a jury in his second trial after his original trial ended with a hung jury. On Monday, Washtenaw County Trial Court Judge Darlene O'Brien sentenced him to prison on a count of torture, 1 count of first-degree child abuse, and 1 count of assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer, court records show. Wentz will serve between 31 years and 8 months and 65 years in prison on the torture charge. His sentence of 10 to 15 years in prison for the first-degree child abuse will be served concurrently with the torture sentence. He received credit for 1 year, 1 month, and 28 days on that sentence. Wentz was convicted of severely burning a 3-year-old boy who he was babysitting on April 1st, 2012. So this wasn't even his kid, he was looking after it for somebody, according to police. Wentz was watching the boy for his girlfriend at home in the 8900 block of MacArthur Boulevard in Superior Township. The girlfriend was usually the primary babysitter. Investigators said Wentz intentionally placed the boy in scalding hot bath water, holding him there and causing severe burns. The temperature of the water was estimated between 120 and 125 degrees. I don't know if that's Celsius or Fahrenheit. If that's Celsius, that's like hotter than like boiling. The boy's mother testified at the preliminary exam that His skin was falling off. The boy was treated at the University of Michigan's Hospital Intensive Care Burn Unit from April 1st until May 21st, 2012, for burns that covered 18% of his body. Wentz told police that he put the boy in the bathtub in ankle-deep water that was lukewarm while he went to play the video game Call of Duty. Wentz said he returned to the bathroom later and found the boy standing with soggy skin. He said the boy turned the hot water on himself. Wentz was charged on April 4th, 2012, and the original trial ended in a hung jury November 5th, 2012. This one here. Grown man throwing his life away over a fucking video game. Angry Call of Duty dad attacks teen who shot him, quote unquote. 46-year-old father of 3 has admitted to court officials that he attacked a teen boy who killed off his Call of Duty Black Ops character. Mark Bradford of Plymouth, England, became unhinged after his character was murdered, but because he said the 13-year-old boy who took the shot called him a name. The two were playing a game over the internet and using microphones to talk. Bradford knew where the boy lived, stormed over to his house, and grabbed the boy's throat with both hands, according to the youngster's mother, who came to the rescue, says a report in the Mirror. The boy had some scratches but was unharmed physically. It wasn't malice, I just grabbed him. I've seen him since and apologized. The injuries weren't bad, but I do regret it, Bradford told the court on Thursday. Bradford's attorney, Tracy Baker, said her client just lost it, but the attack wasn't planned, says Plymouth Herald. What is planned is an October 24th sentencing hearing for Bradford, who was released on bail, said the boy's mother to the Mirror. It's pathetic that a grown man would attack a defenseless child like this. If you can't handle losing to a child, then you shouldn't be playing games. Right? That's crazy. That's from the UK. And I see Nilk defending camping. Depending on the game, it's more of a viable tactic than others. There's some games where it just doesn't work. Find a lot of the old arena first-person shooters, you can't really fucking camp because somebody can just hop by you and like shoot rockets at you. And unless you're chasing after them and or avoiding the rockets, you're just gonna sit there and eat rockets while they dance around you. But on to the next one here. Gun-toting robber steals 100 copies of Call of Duty. As the game-playing world gears up for one of the year's biggest game launches, 2 men apparently decided they didn't want to have to wait in a long line to get their copies of Call of Duty Black Ops when it hits stores tomorrow. They also decided they didn't want to have to pay any money for the game. Instead, they picked up handguns, held up a Baltimore area GameStop store, and then proceeded to take 100 copies of the much-anticipated first-person shooter. That's in Baltimore. That was in Baltimore. I'd have to say it was those horrible fucking white people. Those horrible Caucasians that probably held that store up. The Hartford County Sheriff's Office told the Baltimore Sun that the Saturday night robbery took place as the GameStop employees at the store in the Bel Air shopping center were about to close up shop. Armed with semi-automatic handguns, the men stole 4 full cases of Black Ops games along with some cash and game systems. Sheriff's officials said the 2 customers walked into the store while the robbery was underway. They were forced into a storage area at gunpoint, but neither they nor the employees were injured during the robbery. Needless to say, Hartford County Sheriff's Department would like you Maryland area residents to give them a ring if anyone offers you a suspiciously sweet deal on a copy of Black Ops, which will retail for $60. And by the way, this is the second armed robbery of a Hartford County GameStop store in less than 3 weeks. Sheriff's officials seem to think that the 2 incidents may be related. The Baltimore metagame doesn't support camping. Don't go to Baltimore without rockets. Cal Poly says Baltimore is very dark, as they say. Has it got a lot of fog or something? Now we're on to some other games here. Another one that has quite a bit of mayhem linked to it is the fucking Madden. Here's one that's just kind of funny. Man stuffs $3,000 worth of games down his pants.
Out the front door of a Walmart in Fleming Island, Florida. Police are still looking for the video game playing.
Oh. I'll back this shit up. Oh, come on.
Ready for some football? Because this guy is. He allegedly managed to stuff 54 copies of the video game Madden 12 down his pants. And then he walked out the front door of a Walmart in Fleming Island, Florida. Police are still looking for the video game playing, pants-stuffing bandit who stole more than $3,000 worth of video games. According to reports, the man took his cart full of Madden 12 to the hardware section of the store where he used a screwdriver to open up the copies of the game and stuff them down his pants so he wouldn't set off alarms. 54 copies of Madden is a bit excessive unless you plan on selling them. So I'm sure some used game stores in Florida will be seeing some extra copies of Madden very soon. Always remember to clean your used games before you insert them into your consoles. For more weird video game news, go to ingame.msnbc.com. For Ingame, I'm Todd Kenrick.
And there's also a Madden mass shooting. Jacksonville Landing shooting there. I won't read the whole Wikipedia article, but we'll just give it a quick scroll through. They ended up suing EA because, like, they're like, this never would have happened if you didn't have the tournament. Here's an article. 3 dead, including suspect in shooting at Madden tournament in Florida. A competitor in Madden NFL 19 tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, opened fire during the events on Sunday afternoon, killing 2 people before taking his own life, according to police. The news conference Sunday evening, Sheriff Mike Williams of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office identified the shooting suspect as David Katz, 24, Baltimore. And it keeps coming back. Williams said the Katz was the Madden tournament as a competitor, and that Katz shot and killed multiple people and then fatally shot himself. Following a second news conference Monday afternoon, the sheriff's office said the authorities had identified the 2 deceased victims as other competitors in the Madden tournament. 22-year-old Elisha Clayton of Woodland Hills, California, known in the esports community as True Boy, and Taylor Spot Me Please Robertson, 28, of Giles, West Virginia. The tournament was being live streamed on Twitch at the time of the shooting. Twitch took down the clip in question, but archives are available on Twitter and YouTube. You can see one of them below. In the video, competitor Wesley Joe Rice Gittins is playing Clayton. A red dot, apparently a laser targeting sight, can be seen on Clayton briefly before the screen drops the competitor's images and the shooting begins. As 9 shots ring out, competitors can be heard abandoning their stations and others heard fleeing. Then a man is heard crying out, "What did he shoot me with?" 3 more shots are fired and screaming can be heard. So let's give this a watch.
Yeah. Joe Rice down 7-0 after the first drive by True Boy. Got a lot of good games going on.
It's a lot. It's going to be hard to get them on stream. It's a lot.
It's not a tough out today. Excuse me, not an easy out.
Oh, fuck, what are you shooting with? Oh!
I can't sneeze! There's somebody in the background yelling headshot.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
What the?
Yo. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Where'd you get hit? Sit down, dude. Sit down.
Oh my god.
Sit down, man. Sit down. Sit down. Where'd you get hit? Just right in the ass. Sit down, dude. Lay down on the couch right here.
Excuse me. This weekend's events at Jacksonville Landing downtown was the first of 4 qualifier tournaments for the Madden Classic series sponsored by EA Sports. The tournament was being held at GLHF Game Bar in Jacksonville Landing, while the shooting took place next door at Chicago Pizza. Katz was carrying 2 handguns and extra ammunition at the time of the shooting, Sheriff Williams said Monday, though he added that Katz appears to have fired only one of the weapons. Sheriff Williams says Katz purchased both handguns legally from a licensed dealer in Maryland. According to the sheriff's account, one of the shooting Katz clearly targeted other gamers, walking past patrons at the pizza restaurant to reach a group of Madden players in the back room. Although reports have suggested Katz opened fire after being eliminated from the tournament, Sheriff Williams said authorities have not determined a motive yet, and the Jacksonville police are continuing to investigate the crime with assistance from the FBI. Officials said Monday that in addition to the 2 slain men, 10 people were wounded by gunfire and 1 sustained a non-gunshot related injury. All surviving shooting victims expected to recover from their injuries, according to the sheriff. In a statement posted to Twitter on Sunday night, Electronic Arts described the incident as a senseless act of violence that we strongly condemn. The company added that its current focus is on those affected and supporting law enforcement as they continue their investigation of this crime. EA released another statement Monday afternoon on Twitter, and police announced who had been killed in the shooting, describing the incident as an inconceivable tragedy. The company said Robertson and Clayton earned the admiration of all those who watch them compete, and added, "We will miss them greatly." EA CEO Andrew Wilson issued a statement Monday night confirming that 3 previously scheduled Madden qualifying events were canceled in the wake of the shooting. While these qualifying events are operated independently by partners, we work with them to ensure competitive integrity and to gather feedback from players, Wilson wrote. We have made a decision to cancel our 3 remaining Madden Classic qualifiers events while we run a comprehensive review of our safety protocols for competitors and spectators. We will work with our partners and our internal teams to establish a consistent level of security at all of our competitive gaming events. Cats, also known as Bread, Sliced Bread, and or Ravens Champ, was the club champion representing the Buffalo Bills in the Madden NFL 17 competitive year. On Monday, the Associated Press reported that Katz had been hospitalized twice during his teen years for mental illness. The information came from court records of Katz's parents' 2007 divorce. Drini Gojka, a top flight Madden esports competitor for Complexity Gaming, described a horrifying scene and said he was hit in the hand by a stray round. Chris Dubby McFarland said he had been grazed in the head by a bullet but was also okay. Others at the event told friends via social media they were present for the shooting but safe. Complexity gave this statement confirming Gojka was injured in the shooting. We're obviously shocked and saddened by this afternoon's events. Our player, Drini, was hit in the thumb but is going to be fine. He managed to escape and run down the street to a nearby gym. He is currently cooperating with the authorities and will be flying him out of Jacksonville as soon as we are given green light from the officials on the ground. The Los Angeles Times reported Sunday afternoon the suspect was a competitor at the tournament who had lost. Veteran esports reporter Rob Brozo reported the same information, said O'Larry 2K of Buckets Gaming in the NBA 2K League also wounded. O'Larry's mother confirmed that her son was hit 3 times. And that's pretty much it. So you guys can be the judge. What are worse? Video games or a website where we make fun of fat people? Just give me 1 second and I'll get a outro song picked out here. Thank you for watching, everybody. I may do something Wednesday, now that I'm out of fucking content jail on YouTube. I'll for sure do something Friday. And yeah, I know Ralph won. He's got that fancy website with no security that anyone could DDoS or slow Loris. Oh, I totally forgot about the Sargon killer. But that could be a whole fucking video in and of itself. The Liberalists got a body count too. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.